Evening, everyone. We're joined by head coach Pat Noonan following tonight's 1-0 win over the New York Red Bulls. Coach, if you'd like to start with your thoughts on the result, then we'll get to questions here in person.
Certainly a lot of improvement on the defensive side of the ball. I thought, for the most part, guys did a really good job of making improvements on some of the things that weren't strong enough last weekend. But with the ball, we struggled. After about 20 minutes, I think they certainly controlled the field position, the chances. We had a couple moments in transition, but second half, good start, some early transition moments. But credit to New York, they defend the ball very well. They get behind the ball very well in run of play, transition, all of it. It's tough to break down, and it took one special moment from Kevin to change the game. But certainly an important win at a crucial time.
Pat, congratulations.
Thank you.
You mentioned Kevin's goal, so I guess I'll start there. And the shot is from distance. It's obviously spectacular, but it seems like you've talked a lot about his ability to play with his back to the goal, and that's a play that starts with him pulling the ball down and making it.
Yeah.
What did you make of his ability to do so on that goal? And is that something that you think is, even if it's not as great of a shot, next time it's repeatably successful here, something you're able to do?
That's the difference of us being attacking or us being in transition or having to get behind the ball defensively when we get more of those moments right and have a little bit more clever and understanding of how to move off the back line, or when we have to play direct, just how to help us gain an advantage. And I think he did that okay on the night. You see the difference of Ayub on the field and what that really looks like. And I know there's a size difference there, but take size out of it. How do guys understand how to play with their back to goal and be an outlet at times when teams are stepping up their pressure? And when we get those moments right, like you saw with Kevin, it allows us to either get out into space and attack, or allows us to just maintain possession and move up the field. So I think we can get better.
The defense late, injuries kind of make it so it's a lineup that maybe you wouldn't have predicted when things started the day, but it successfully sees out the clean sheet and the win. What did you make of that kind of how the group was able to kind of come together at the end there and maybe put together a group of guys who you wouldn't expect and see it out?
The starting group a lot had to do with how we thought the game would look, and that was the selections of Teenage and Alvis. Nick's given us a lot of good minutes, and very easily could have been in there from the start. So that was less about, I would say, performances and more just about the situation. So those guys stepped up in a good way. I think with the ball struggled for majority of the night, and we can be better there, but defended really well. So end of the game was Ender having to come off. So we weren't probably going to make that decision at that moment, but pushing Alvis wide and getting Nick in there, we thought would help us with how the game looked and needing to defend in a pretty strong way. So Nick came in and did a really good job, and Kai did as well. I think it was at that moment. So it was getting guys that could, I think, were better suited for some of the direct play that we kept finding ourselves, in those moments, because I just don't think the comfort level was there to play. So both those guys came on. Ayub, I mentioned, did a good job, and then there at the end, Brian as well, to help us see it out. I think I'm missing one, but the guys did a good job.
I wanted to ask you about Kai specifically, because it seems like he comes in late and I'll use the word crafty, I guess, uses some crafty skill to slow the game down, do some good things to help you guys see the game out. Is that just a veteran in this league who's able to understand the moment? Like, what did you see from him late there?
Experience. It's not just about dumping balls forward and trying to get into a defensive structure. He understands with his back to goal, there's still some composure of where's our midfield support, what's our structure look like, where he's going to have his options to find those support passes, knowing how to break pressure and then get us moving up the field. I think he had the right calm that I think we were lacking for majority of the game.
We're going to zoom down to Laurel. Laurel, you can go ahead.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You kind of answered this a little bit in that question, but what do you think was the difference just for the team overall in being able to close out this game as opposed to the last one when you weren't able to?
I didn't get in the way this time. I think last week just poorly managed, like I mentioned. So trying to put guys in a position to succeed there at the end. You know, we're talking with the coaches there, some good ideas as to how to change things at the beginning of the second half, and then to see out the game. So we had worked on some of the things that we did at the end of the game there just during the week, and I think the guys were a little bit more comfortable with it. So, trying to make simple decisions under the circumstances to just see that we weren't having a ton of success with the ball. So, what were some of our outlets with the more direct options, and then what was our midfield structure to support that. So, like I said, the guys just saw out the game in a more organized way, in a more professional way.
And then with obviously Kevin had the goal, but he also got his 5th yellow card for accumulation, so he'll miss that finale.
Yep.
Some of his cards, I mean, that one tonight seemed like it was for kicking the ball away. He's had the ones for the shirt, taking his shirt off. Is that something you've had to have a conversation with him about, just being more disciplined in those moments, or how do you handle those kind of situations with him?
We addressed it as a group. We always try to help guys understand who's on 4 cards and how to play the game, knowing that you're a card away from a suspension, and where we're at in the year, wanting to keep everybody available with health, with the disciplinary stuff. So just immature play, because he knows that he was on 4 and shouldn't have been receiving a yellow for anything outside of maybe a tactical situation.
If I can ask one more, Tommy Gaillarder mentioned on his broadcast that Matt had another setback.
Yep.
Is there anything you can share regarding him, and then also Luca with his hamstring, it seemed, tonight?
Yeah, Matt picked up an injury Thursday in training, and after we spoke, so timeline is TBD, but it'll look to be 3 to 4 weeks is probably the minimum from my understanding. So Luca, not sure. It was a hamstring. That was something that bothered him a little in the week. Tuesday, Wednesday, he was in and out of training, and then felt much improved Thursday, Friday. So I don't know the extent, but and if it's in the same spot as the discomfort that he was experiencing early in the week, so we'll have to wait and find out.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go to Damon Gumpert now. Damon, you can go ahead.
Thank you. Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Tonight was Evan Loro's first MLS clean sheet. He's undefeated since Roman was injured and he's taken over. What have you seen from him? What have you liked that he's shown in that time period and tonight?
Yeah, really happy for Evan, especially getting the clean sheet here. I know there's a lot of support there in the stands and watching for him, but he's been consistent with his starts. I think from distribution to making the saves when we need him to. Today, I thought he handled the crossing moments well, especially on the set pieces. They put a lot of numbers around him, and he was able to do a good job of working his way through that to get his hand on a few of those, because those are tough plays. So just a strong performance. I think a well-deserved shutout for him and our group, defensively, that unit, but the whole team. This is how you need to find success at times like we're in, and maybe when we're not as strong as we need to be with the ball, what does it look like to defend? And he was behind that back line in a strong way, and showed good leadership and good composure.
Thank you.
Thank you.